Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I got another little DRC RC car to take a look at. This is the 9005E. Now I'm just doing a kind of quick dirty review here today, as you'd call it. These toy cars and toy drones, people don't like to watch the table reviews very much. So unless it's a hobby grade RC, brushless, an expensive drone, then I'm just gonna be doing more videos like this because people just tend to skip ahead anyway. So I'm also a little crunched on time. So I just wanted to get a quick little overview here to let you see what this car looks like before we get it outside and see how well it performs. So it's got a pretty cool look to it. And they have these little flags they included. Now this is not, there's no real way to mount them. I just stuck them on it because they look kind of cool. A little pirate flag here and like a checkered flag on the other one. But there's no real way to mount it. If you tried to drive with these on here, they would just fall off, or if you flipped it, they would break or something. So I just stuck them on here. It's kind of neat, but kind of also a little bit probably pointless. As you can see here, you got a full metal drive system and all metal oil-filled shocks. We'll get back to that in a minute. Metal differential, your typical 2.4 gigahertz four-wheel drive, and it does have some pretty cool LED lights. In fact, I'll show you those right now. You've got them by my thumb on each side here in the front. You got some up on the top, and I think you got some down here below the bumper as well. So there's 3 different locations for the LED lights. And your tires, they're not foam filled. You can hear, air in them. So they're not the greatest, but they seem to be a decent compound. They look pretty cool with the striping on here. This whole gold and black color scheme. Now you can see down here, here are the oil filled shocks down in here. The problem is the design of this car, even though they are oil filled, they don't have a lot of travel, and you kind of almost want to work them in at first. But if I drop the car here, I'll show you. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but there's not much travel on the front. I believe there was more travel here on the rear. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'll show you here if I drop the car, and I'll take these flags out. The shocks don't really function well at all. So let me just show you. The car just is really bouncy. So they're not dampening, you want a car to not bounce. The oil-filled shock should absorb the impact. And it just bounces, especially in the rear. So it's a combination of the design of the car. For one, the design is just, as you can see here, if I push it down, there's just not much. I mean, the body of the car literally hits the tire, so there's not much travel. And then on top of it, it could be, how tense the springs are and the weight of the oil, stuff like that. But here's a good view of the oil-filled shocks. I mean, it's still probably better than friction, but I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference because of the design. So that's a bit unfortunate, because I do like to see oil-filled shocks on something like this, which is, the lower end. It's probably more toy grade than hobby grade. Yeah, it's kind of in the middle there. But yeah, it's got a little bit unfortunate. You do have a wheelie bar here in the rear. So we'll have to see if it is fast enough. They need that because this is just brushed motor powered. It is not brushless. So real quick, before we take off the top, I'm going to show you, get your little pistol grip controller. Very toy grade as well. That's why I think this is more closer to toy grade. Your on and off switch here. Your steering trim. And you're like a dual rate on the speed here is what it said. Looks like it's a dual rate more than a speed trim. Your battery compartment here on the bottom. They do give you 2 of these. These are 2-cell lithium ion packs. Looks like it's a typical DRC one. Let me flip it around here. And this is, if I can read the capacity on these, looks like it's 1500 milliamp hour on these little 2-cell, and they do have a Dean's plug I can see inside the bag. You get some spare parts, clips, charging cable, cleaning brush probably in there, stuff like that. So let's go ahead. I took the body clips off. Let's see if we can get this body to come undone and lift this up here. Not sure if the whole thing just tilts, and I do like that they use these straps so that you can actually take off the body clips and not lose them. Let me pause the video here and so I can get the body off so I can use both hands. Okay, so I went ahead and got the body off. These little holes kind of stick whenever you're trying to pull it off. And whenever you do, you can see here is the wire that goes to the little distribution type little panel here that has all the plugs. You can probably use any of these, but when you pull it off, it does pull out. So if you want the LED lights to work, you know, this is running to the different lights on the body, but this is your main power source coming from this little plug down here. So you need to make sure that you do get it plugged back in to one of these so that it has bringing power back into the LED lights that are on the body. But as you can see, we'll take this little warning label off just so this cools better. We have a little brush motor here, probably like a 380, 390, something like that, I'm guessing. Here's your ESC receiver combo, it looks like, in your power button right here. And it does say 7.4 volt, 30 amps. So it's telling you you want to stick with 2S on this. It's just a 30 amp. And then over here we've got our other second, let that focus in, our second 2S lithium ion pack. Here's our steering servo, and I want to see, it looks like it's a 5-wire, so it runs over there. You know, on the lower end stuff, you tend to see the 5-wire. It still should be fully proportional. It's just that if you wanted to swap this out or something with a different radio system, you wouldn't be able to use the existing steering servo with this. You do have, as I didn't mention a while ago, but you do have full metal dog bones on this, which of course, along with the metal aluminum differentials, I think it says there's actually 3 for the whole system is what it says. I'm not sure in the middle here. I don't see a middle one. I have to look more closely at the gearbox and how it's set up. Yeah, and you just have plastic tie rods or turnbuckles, so then that's okay. It's just, again, it's kind of what we expect. It's something at this price point. There is a coupon on Amazon's website. I think this was around 90, and then you had like last I looked, this stuff changes a lot. I had like a 35% off. So I don't know exactly the price. It'll certainly be less than the listed price, but they change these coupons, especially with Black Friday and Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. This stuff tends to fluctuate a lot. So if I tell you something right now, it may not be accurate tomorrow. So that's kind of how it is. So I think that kind of covers everything for a little brushed car. Hopefully this works okay. Again, I don't know how well the suspension's going to work, just simply because of the body. Because you can see with this off now, I get way more travel, but the way the body attaches, it pulls the body down. Let's try with the body off, because it could make quite a bit of difference. Let me get my fingers out of the way. A lot better difference. Let's see. It still bounces, but at least you know the body's not like kind of restricting the movement of the car. So, but yeah, they don't feel like bad shocks. I think it's just partially the design of this car, but I'm glad to see that they're actually trying to put something decent on here. Oil-filled shocks are so cheap now, there's really no excuse for going with friction shocks. All right, guys, that's enough jibber jabbering. Let's get this car outside and kind of drive it around, see how it does off-road, on the street if I want to. I don't know which one where I'm going to drive it, and we might do both, and maybe put the little black ramp out there and do a few jumps just to see how it handles that with the oil-filled shocks. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so let's get the DEERC 9005E out here and just do a little test drive. Just gonna do a quick test drive in front of my house. It's pretty muddy in the back. You know, it would be kind of nice to take it in the mud. I don't want to get stuck in the mud walking around back there. But yeah, I really want to see how these oil-filled shocks work, because it's nice that they included them. But as I mentioned in the table overview, that, you know, as I just kind of drop it, it bounces a lot, and I just feel like they might be a bit too stiff, and also they tend to just kind of, the wheels or the tires hit the body of the car, which prohibits it from actually being able to absorb or move or travel the whole way that you'd want it to. So let's also see, is this wheelie bar necessary or not? I mean, on the 2-cell, I think it probably won't be. I don't know if this is 3S compatible or not. I think it just said on the ESC, if I remember right, that it said it was for 7.4 volts. So, you know, it'd be risky to go 3S on this since they rated it that way. Just go ahead and see how it works. I got my ramp out here. Yeah, I mean, it's a brushed car, so it's about what you kind of expect it to be. Now we can see the LED lights here in the front, and it looks like this right one. Oh, it came, I'll tell you what happened there. The LED light popped out of the little housing. Now you can see it there. it fell off my car as I was getting ready to film, and the LED light fell out. So I'll push that back in there, and now there it is. So nothing's broken. It just popped out of the body. Let's see if I can get it kind of trimmed up. But yeah, I'm probably gonna need to glue that, because what I think is happening, as soon as I jump, the LED light is popping back out. So simple enough fix. Just get some glue and we can glue it back into place. But it's gonna keep popping out. Let's take it through the yard here. I got it mowed recently. See, it's really bouncy. See, that's where you'd want that oil-filled shocks to travel and absorb these bumps. And it's bouncing around like a friction shock car. So I mentioned kind of what I guessed. I mean, I'm glad they put oil-filled shocks on here, but the design of this body just not allowing to travel, along with the fact that it may just be a bit too stiff of springs, and maybe the weight of the oil. But I think a lot of it's just to travel. That's the biggest problem. And again, that LED light's popping back out again. Again, that's because I actually had it on top of the mailbox taking the photos for the thumbnail, and I bumped the controller in reverse and it fell off on the street. And then it also fell off my car, so that was my own fault. But it's good to know that the truck is not damaged, just the lights popping out of the little socket in the body. No biggie, we'll get that fixed. So it's just a little speed here. You can see again, it's being just a little brushed. I think looks like it's probably about a 390. That's about what you expect. Not real quick, but not slow. Definitely would make for a good present for someone just getting into the RC hobby. Something that's not going to be too quick. Like the last DRC car I did a few weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago to the day, that was brushless. I think it was like the 003E maybe was the name of it. Be sure to check that one out. That was a beginner's brushless RC, a lot faster. So someone just getting into this, especially if they say they're maybe 7, 8, 9 years old, that might be too quick for them. This won't be, and it really handles well. Nice fully proportional steering and throttle. The LED lights are cool. But it's just bouncy. Like I said, unfortunately, oil-filled shocks are just not able to do their job because of the tires hitting the body, I think, is the main factor. Boy, it's getting a lot chillier. It's been so warm, and boy, it's freezing. My hands are freezing. It's in the mid-40s today. But the wind is really got a bite to it. Oh. Just trying to see how it handles here on the pavement. These tires are pretty grippy actually, so I'm getting pretty good traction. It's not sliding around on me or anything. It's a cool looking car. Not a bad landing there. I really think if that body would just had more, if it didn't hang out over the tires, that this would allow for more travel and it wouldn't bump this so much. So what you probably could do is if you took a Lexan type, a utility knife or even scissors, and if you cut out this body here some to allow the tires to travel, it might look a little goofier, but I think you'd allow these tires to travel more. I think you might actually see a better performance. So we'll have to see if you did that. I'm not going to do that in this video, but that might allow for that to travel more. And the car's pretty lightweight. And again, the shocks seem pretty stiff, so it doesn't quite have enough weight to probably really cause the shocks to travel because they need to be lighter. They're just a bit, maybe a lighter oil or just a thinner springs. Yeah, you can see that left front light on your right side. It's popped out again. And I'm positive that happened because like I said, I bumped it. It hit the ground and bumped the ground really hard, so it just keeps falling out. And there's probably some hot glue or something they use that's come on the back here, and it needs to be glued in. So just a little bulb, a little drop of hot glue on the back of that will fix that. They just pop loose. You see it's already flown out. As soon as I get going, it bounces around the light bulb. The LED comes out of the body. That was a nice landing. It's got a decently, with those, one thing about those wide tires and this design is it has a little bit wider wheelbase. So it makes it a little bit more stable. I do like that. It's not as likely to fall over. See if we can. It's kind of hard to hit that ramp when you're off to the side like this. So let's see if I can do that one last time. Yeah. Not a bad jump. All right, guys, my hands are freezing and this is getting a bit repetitive. I just wanted to get an idea how quickly it went and do the shocks do anything much. And obviously, like I said, they don't do as much as you like because of the tires hitting the body so easily, I think. And the shocks being too stiff. But overall, still a pretty cool car. You're getting two cell lithium-ion packs with this. You do get those little flags if you like those as well. And you get the cool LED lights, assuming that yours stays in the body. But again, simple enough to glue that light back in. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, you like videos like this, RC cars, boats, drones, or any kind of tech stuff, computers, stay tuned to the channel. Be sure you subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. And as always, guys, have an awesome day.